The natural. Naturals are people who successfully kept many of their childish traits as they grew up. They learned that innocence made their parents give them what they want, so they learned to keep enough of this quality to get what they want of life. Children aren't threatening, and at the same time they don't try to please. This is the reason why they are so charming and seductive. Most people remember their childhood as a golden age they will never be able to return to. Life as an adult is boring. As children, we had a positive attitude towards life and we had a lot of privileges that we lost as we got older. To most of us, life was easier and better. Secretly, we all want to go back, but because we can't, we are attracted to those that remind us of the best time of our lives. Emma Crouch's father clearly liked her more than the rest of her siblings. She was a cute red-headed girl with freckles and very flirtatious. He would often remind her how special she was and how she had a bright future ahead of her. Unfortunately, he loved adventure and women way too much, and he abandoned her and the rest of the family. Emma was told that her father died in an accident, something that she didn't take lightly. The next couple of years were very depressing. One day, when she was walking down the street, a well-dressed man approached her and invited her home to have some cake. She went with him, and they slept together. The next morning, she discovered that he was a very rich man. If she decided to stay with him, he would treat her well and give her a great deal of money. She took the money, but didn't agree to be with him. It was enough money for her to buy a place of her own and leave her family. What she wanted was to never depend on anyone and to live the life her father promised her. She changed her name to Cora Pearl, and she began to attend London's Argyle rooms. The owner of the place, Mr. Bignell, found her appealing, and like the other man, he promised her money and a very pleasant lifestyle if she decided to be with him. She gave him a try. She began to date him until he took her to Paris. She fell in love with the city. It seemed like the perfect place for her to become what her father promised her when she was younger. She dumped Mr. Bignell, stayed in Paris, and became a courtesan. She became a sensation. Everyone wondered what she would do next. Once, she went on stage naked. All she was wearing were a couple of diamonds given to her by wealthy clients. She let the diamonds fall off and didn't bother to pick them up. This type of behavior made men go wild. They all desired her. Beauty is not a quality that keeps people hooked for long. Cora Pearl was not considered to be very beautiful, and yet she had countless men at her feet buying her expensive gifts and promising her a pleasant lifestyle if she decided to stay with them. When she was young, her father spoiled her with love and affection, so she grew up believing that all men should do the same. She felt worthy of love without trying to do anything for it. She was an independent woman, a wild animal that men wanted to tame, a trophy. Her sense of entitlement left it clear that if she was to commit, the relationship would be on her terms, and that was that. It was because of this attitude that so many men lost their minds for her. Children that are spoiled with affection grow up to become very independent and seductive. Their confidence attracts people to them who spoil them even more, making them even more confident. They seem slightly out of control, and we want to tame them and make them depend on us. People are drawn to challenges, so a person that is hard to get makes us want to fight for them. Perhaps you weren't spoiled by your parents. Nothing to worry about. You can still have other people spoil you. To be a natural, make yourself seem weak and innocent. This will make you lovable and lower your target's resistance. Say what you think. You probably shouldn't use this as an excuse to offend people, but if you're subtle enough, people will find you adorable, and they will want to educate you, just like a child. Be spontaneous. You might want to display some talent of yours. Improvise like a child, and don't tell people how much time and effort it took to become so good. You're playing the natural, so make your talent seem effortless. It's an ability that comes naturally to you. Retain the spirit of a child. Be playful and never act defensive. The last and most important key to be a natural is to live a life that you created for yourself. Naturals do what naturally comes to them. They act according to who they are and live authentic lives. 99% of people work at a job they hate from 9 to 5 days a week to earn a living. They fantasize about a different life that seems out of reach. This makes them unhappy and grumpy. Manage to build a life that fulfills you. Most people are not brave enough to chase after their dreams, so they enjoy to be around those who are, hopefully someone like you. The role you were given in life is not the role you have to accept. You can always live out a role of your own creation, a role that fits your fantasy. All the other keys to being natural are characteristics of a child. Children are naturals because they haven't yet been molded to be like everyone else and do what everyone does. We love to be around them because they are who they are and don't try to please the world. Like any child, the more absorbed you seem in your own joy-filled world, the more seductive you become. In other words, be yourself and live the life you want. The seductive power of the natural lies in its ability to inspire people to do the same.